Welcome to People and Peloton, the SD Worx podcast where cycling and business come together. In every episode, we put two conversations next to each other, one from the boardroom and one from the Peloton. And together we'll discover their similarities and what both can learn from each other. And today we'll talk about well-being, energy and balance. Not a trend, but an instrument to keep employees and riders feeling good. The question isn't how do you stay motivated, it's how do you stay healthy enough to perform without losing yourself along the way. My name is Dorien Leyers and with me today are Erwin Janssen, Team Director at Team SD Worx-Protime, and Bruce Fecheyr-Lippens, Chief HR Officer at SD Worx.
To stay fit and energized during such a long season is pretty challenging, but it's a nice challenge actually. You need to find a balance between work and relaxation and some time for yourself, some time with your friends, and of course your work and your training and focus. And I think actually doing multiple disciplines also keeps it more fun because you're changing your focus, and especially doing gravel and riding on the track, it doesn't feel as much of a pressure as on the road. So it's a little bit, I'm cheating a little bit because I'm still working and I'm training, but it doesn't feel like it. So I think having the perfect balance between work and fun and training and having time off is the most important. I think doing different disciplines doesn't require that much of a different approach because in the end it's all still cycling and it's a similar effort, although it does require some different kind of trainings, and of course especially in the technical part, the gravel is of course very different than the track and it requires different technical trainings and different focus. But overall, the physical training, I think it's quite similar, so that's why it's easy to combine them.
Hello, gentlemen.
Hello.
Very welcome.
Thank you.
Maybe if I can dive straight into it, Erwin, we just heard Mischa, and I wonder what does a long season mean in terms of strain and recovery, because what we see is usually that one-day race.
Yes. Now, what you see is, of course, a long season. But what is important, first of all, of course, that we, before the start of the season, we have, of course, with our riders, we make the plan for the year. And there's a plan that can be from February till December. But the most important is that it's the peak moments changed by the rest moment, but also with the team camps, the trainings camp or attitude. So the balance in the program is the most important. And then it can be also a period between February and December.
Mm-hmm. Because Mischa even said it's the most important thing, the balance between the training, she said, and can I just say having fun? Relaxing?
Of course. Yeah, of course. It's important that we try also to have periods in the year, in the season, and that they have time enough also just to relax and to make fun, because there are also girls from between 20 and 35 years old, so it's important. But everything they do must be in a real good balance. If we don't do that like that, so it's more programmed, even the fun parts. But it's really important that we organize and plan it like that.
Mm-hmm. Do you still decide what they do? If they say, Bruce, Erwin, tomorrow I'm going to go bungee jumping. Are you like, no, you're not?
No, of course not. But of course there are things that we say they can better not do. And they are top sporters, so they know what is good and what is not good. But from the other way, we go every year with the team before we start the new season to learn each other better in a new team. And then, for example, we went many years also with skiing, a ski weekend. So, and that's also not what general is in cycling, of course.
Risky.
Yeah, it is, but of course we make fun, and this is that part what you just mentioned. It's so important to have fun and also to
deconnect.
Deconnect. But of course we say take care. Yeah, don't do stupid things, etc.
Yeah, of course.
But that's really important to keep it all sharp all the season.
Bruce, obviously, someone who works at the company. It's year round. It's not even February to October, but it's maybe not always a high performance period. But let's say it is. How do you maintain energy and focus in that moment without burning out people?
Yeah, it's a very good question. And I'm myself a cyclist. I like to do that too. 15 years ago, I had my moment where for me, in the business world, it's important to be a corporate athlete, I call it. So It's really important. I think we have on a daily basis, we need to be high performing. I compare it with you sprint, you need to recover. You sprint, you recover. You need to keep on doing that. So yes, I do have my healthy habits, I would say. I try to come with a bike to work. It's a moment of rest when I come. And it's a moment of rest when you go home. When I come home, the 3 kids, wife, you want to be present. So I try to put my phone on silent mode, at least for a few hours. These are small things that are helping. During the day as well, it's sometimes a day packed of meetings, discussions, sometimes an emotional one, sometimes a strategic one. Just 2 minutes going outside, breathing in, putting some water on the face. All those little habits help. And typically I find that people are exploring what those habits are. And then you just need to be honest with yourself and just try to do them.
On a daily basis, maybe. Yeah. Erwin, that's best case. If you try to have certain habits, would that help, let's say, in a high performance period?
Yeah, sure. And I think if you look to the riders, then it's really important that they have really, let me say, a balanced day from rest. Just lay down, watch a little bit television, sleep, and that's really important if they are going to that peak moments. To have on a daily basis this rest moment.
But again, we have this wall of where theory ends and where reality kicks in, because you can have the best rest in your head. Let's say you have the best schedule, and then you have a shitty night, and then you don't sleep or you get sick.
That's where you have to be adaptable as a person.
Sorry for my French.
No, that's where you have to be adaptable, I think, as a person. Yeah, it's good to have a schedule. It's perfect even to have that, your daily habits. Yeah. But if something unexpected happens, it's also a strength to be able to adapt yourself to a new situation. If you're too much a victim of your own schedule day in, day out, then the strength becomes also a bit of a weakness.
Absolutely.
And I had the luck because our CEO and myself, I were writing a book for SD Worx, and for the company SD Worx about culture, but we were able to interview 4 of your riders, and they all spoke about those daily habits. That it really helps them to have. It's super powerful to help them. But sometimes indeed, when you have, as you say, a shitty night, you have to say, okay, stop, for me too, shitty night. Okay, now I will take the train to work and not the bike to work, because otherwise I will be sick. And that's also not, so you have to zoom out.
Or when, what was it recently, a virus starts to spread in the whole team, and then suddenly your well-being energy schedule is out of the window, I think.
Yeah, good. That's, that can happen. And it's what Bruce said, then you need to trust in the process that you're always doing, and to keep it easy in your mind, because otherwise if you lose it in your mind, you will not win the next race. And
even their habits actually help, because you can say something unexpected happens. Do I directly go into the impulse, or do I have the habit to say, I'm going to close my eyes, I'm going to think 2 minutes? Do I stick to my schedule, or do I do something else? That's also a habit that helps you to make
the resilience we talked about.
Yes.
In another episode, we talk about resilience, which is also, I think, something very important when it comes to well-being. Maybe, if I can ask Bruce, is there one example at SD Worx, a moment where in your role, of course, well-being was at risk? And I'm not talking about a virus. I'm talking about this culture of well-being.
Yeah, and for us, it's really important that there is well-being for the teams to keep on going, of course. So we had a moment, that it was a few years ago, where we had a red flag in our employee engagement survey results, where we saw there were 100 teams in the red zone. 100, but we have thousands of teams. But in the red zone, and we said, okay, that's not okay. Let's have the discussion. What is really happening there? And then we took action. And now we are monitoring the amount of teams that are in the red zone. So it does happen. And you can be blind for it. And then you need to quickly listen to what's really needed and adapt and take action. Because in the bigger picture, we want people to be sustainable in the work they're doing.
Okay. Does that resonate with you, Erwin, this type of working with a survey? Or do you say, with athletes, you shouldn't ask every second, are you okay? Because then they get to this place of doubt.
Yeah, that's right. Because they know what they are doing, and they are top athletes. So, of course, we give them all the facilities. We help them on all bases. But don't ask too much. Don't ask too
much.
No, don't ask too much, because they are knowing what they are doing, and the most of them are pretty clever girls. So if they need something, they ask for it, and of course we keep an eye on that, of course. But our rule is also don't ask too much every day.
But the culture is there that they know they can always.
Of course, we have a really open culture. They feel safe. They feel happy. So, and there are always people who they can ask. Absolutely.
And that's a nice bridge to the business world too. Is that psychological safety, that you have a culture where people can talk if they want to. We also try to have that they know, okay, these are 5 or 6 people I can always talk to if there is a difficult moment. Yeah. Because indeed, you cannot always guess.
No, yeah.
Some people are more extrovert, some people are more introvert. Don't always share it, of course.
Yeah. Erwin, is there an early sign in your experience that a rider is going over the edge, physically and mentally, where you do say, I need to step in. This is not going the right way?
Yeah, of course, it's different for every rider. Every character, every person is different. But in general, what you see, if it's too far, then they getting more quiet and more quiet. That's in general.
Okay.
So then they are more on their own, don't talk a lot. Also not, they don't talk a lot with the other girls. That's what we see mostly. The good with the top sport team is that we see them so much. Or sport directors or performance guys or doctors or medical staff. They have so much contact with everybody, so that we are pretty
in
fast.
Sync.
Yeah. That's the good. So we can directly come to action. I think that's a difference with the big company, and of course it's organized that a chief sees his
I was
team
about
members.
to say, there is not a day-to-day feedback conversation with one of your it's harder maybe to notice.
I think yes and no, because we do have daily moments and interactions with each other. And if you have a culture where people care about each other, it's not the manager per se. We have 360, you have your colleagues. But you notice when somebody has more doubt, when somebody has put his or herself more in a victim mode, is blaming others faster, then you see, okay, wow. And then if you have the courage, then we say, let's have the conversation. Can I do something to help? That's a nice question to ask between colleagues. And I'm sure it happens between the riders amongst themselves too. It's not always the doctor that needs to say something.
Sure not.
Because then you feel like, okay, we are in it together as a gang of sisters and brothers there to help each other. We need to carry each other's loads. And I think the team above an individual is super important here. Yeah,
and I think there is one big difference, Bruce, is also that if you look to a sports team, the girls and the staff, they are around, let me say, 150 till 200 days a year traveling. Yes. So they are 24/7 together.
Yeah.
So that's not only those 8 or 10 hours a day, but also in their free time in the evening. So then you really find out much faster.
Maybe you notice differences faster as well.
Of course, because they are sleeping in the same room with each other. So
Fully agree with you, Erwin.
That's a big difference.
That's a big difference.
And that's in our advantage. Yeah.
I know it's a cliche, the work-life balance.
Yeah.
But let's try to go there anyway. We're talking about well-being, energy. Do you see a difference, for example, with, let's say, 10 years ago, how this is treated and how we look at that balance? I think, yes, a big difference. The work hard, play hard atmosphere is behind us, or at least that it was considered cool to be that way.
I have my very personal convictions about it, where in the sports world, we know the Tour de France, you win because you sleep enough and more than that, of course. Sometimes in business world, it's still like taboo, or it's like cool to say, I only slept 4 hours.
Exactly, yeah.
That's a no-go zone. If I even think about SD Worx, we have changed the culture of teams from indeed every week work hard, play hard towards let's be professional with each other. And of course you can have fun. But in the end of the day, we are professional with each other. So I think we talk about it more, and that creates an atmosphere that people are actually more in sync with who they really are and what they really want to do. There's a bit less peer pressure, but it's still there. We're not yet there. Huh? It's still sometimes a bit taboo. Huh?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think in the top sports that works in a different way, because there and for sure in a women's cycling team, we really try and need to promote to also play hard sometimes, because there is such a hard top sport mentality. The girls, they think if we freak out one night, then we are not good enough. We are not good enough anymore the weeks after, and that's totally crazy, of course. Yeah. So we stimulate it. So after the classic springs, that we go out and freak out and have fun together. And that, in our opinion, and I think if you ask the girls, they really like that.
Yeah, and to make the parallel in business world, it's also as a manager saying, or to your colleagues, you're on holiday now. I do not expect anything. Please don't watch your phone for a week.
That's a good one.
Just saying that helps so much.
Yeah.
I don't want to get an email from you.
No, it's even that. Even please don't send me one. Like, please really disconnect. And that's what you, I think, do, is forcing those moments of fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
We also need to ensure we force those moments of mental deconnection.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. The top athletes have evolved as well. I think of images of the 80s where you had this smoking and drinking athletes. That's gone. I mean, that is far behind us. So
impossible.
They're already so good.
Yeah, absolutely.
you would not even be able to perform.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Now, if we talk about recovery, this is a very obvious word in the sports world, but do you think we maybe forget it too often in the business world, as you mentioned before?
We talk a lot about it, but I don't think we act always about it. Like what I said before, saying, please disconnect for a week, or I don't expect anything after... whatever, 6. We don't stimulate each other, I think, enough sometimes to really, really disconnect. And it's so important because, again, athletes become stronger. When you sprint, you recover. That's where your muscle becomes stronger. It's the same with our mental muscle. Our brains are also muscles. If we deconnect, we will be able to make much better and faster decisions the day after as a team. So the same logic holds.
And celebrating the win and then the obvious day after where nobody expects anything. I don't think we do that enough in the business world.
No, not at all enough. We should do that more. We started 2 years ago with a Fun at Works budget that we give to the employees, and they can use it for various reasons, because indeed you have to celebrate the wins. It gives you a boost of energy, and otherwise you see a big mountain there. You have to celebrate the little steps in between. It gives energy and... Yes.
Yeah, but that's in top sports also difficult. Huh? We need to stimulate it, but from the other way, if you look now to the classic springs, and we win a race. I can remember we won last year the first Milan-San Remo, so that was a big race. Everybody was unbelievable happy. So I remember, we wanted to drink a glass of champagne after that, but we came at the team bus and the girls needed to go 1.5 hour later to go to the airport to fly to the next race. So
no time
there
to
is no
enjoy.
time. Often there is no time to celebrate, and that's why we try to do it on several moments in the year, in the season, more structured, to have that fun together. Yeah,
but that's a good point to at least have those formal, structured moments. That in business, I think we can do a bit more often.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yes.
Is there a habit that you can maybe create to have that recovery moment? However small it is, you think?
The answer is yes, but it varies for each person. I think every individual has moments of recovery, but it can be very different. Like for me, it's going with my bike to work, it's putting water on my face. For others, it can be something completely different. It might be I'm going to watch something on television. Yeah. It's very different for each person.
For me personally, when you have children, however crazy, bad or good your day was, when you're at the school and you're picking them up and they run towards you, it just all falls away.
Everything.
You recognize the feeling.
Yeah, of course. It's
suddenly
time
it's them
ago,
and it's their day.
You're so
it's
right.
The best way to deconnect for me.
Yeah, we have
best way.
We too. We have 3 kids, and you come home, and even after a day, you had so many things on your head. You come home, it's like, ooh, wow,
and that's
amazing to see the smiles and the love in the air. Yes.
Sorry for those who don't have kids, but it's one of the reasons
we're
to get them.
Absolutely, we're fortunate.
Absolutely.
There's other busy things coming in. Now, gentlemen, I think we're coming towards the end, and let's discover how the story ends.
Team SD Worx-Protime really helps me with finding this balance between on and off and choosing points to focus on. I think if you ride the seasons from February till October or maybe even December, then you really need to pick your battles and pick your moments where you want to peak. And I think the staff of this team really helps me with that, and we can find the right balance, and it's something you do together. So yeah, I feel very, very ready and recharged and excited for the Spring Classics this year.
All right. Well, perfect, guys. I think we're coming towards the end. Maybe a rapid fire question session for you guys. One thing you'd steal from cycling into business.
I would steal your structured moments of going to ski. Maybe it's not ski for us, but having the structured moments where you have fun, you deconnect, and you also celebrate.
Exactly. To celebrate the wins. Erwin, same question for you.
I must say, I like the idea of the fun budget.
Yeah, me too.
So I will ask the girls what they will do with it.
I will ask you next year what they have done. Yes.
Yeah.
They might surprise us. Is there one habit that protects energy without lowering performance?
Yeah, I think the habit is to have habits.
Right. Yeah, that's true. That's very true. We talked about that, and I think that's very, very true. Maybe one question every leader should ask themselves weekly or daily when it comes to energy, focus, well-being.
For me, it's when you wake up in the morning. And for some, it's direct wake-up moment. The others need an hour. That's fine.
Or coffee.
Or coffee. But do you have energy in the tank, and do you want to have and start your day? And sometimes it's good to close your eyes for a few moments, go inside you. Do you really have that energy, or is something wrong? And if something is wrong, what is it? Be radically transparent, open with it, and try to take it. Not easy. I struggle with it myself too. But I think that's a good question for everyone. Yes.
I like how Bruce took it to himself. And I want to ask then the same question to you, Erwin. Not about your team, but about you. So what is one question that you ask yourself when it comes to your well-being?
For me, is I must be sure, and I am, that the riders and staff feel the energy that I still have to always want to be to stay the number one in the world.
That is a lot of things on your shoulders, Erwin.
Yeah, okay, but we like it, and we did it already 10 years, so
you like the high performance rhythm.
Absolutely.
You couldn't live without it.
No.
Bruce, one last question for you. What's your long-term vision on well-being?
Yeah, 2 letters, ET, energy and trust. I think if you have a culture where we think about energy versus time, it's everything. Do all of our people have energy, yes or no? And are we doing the things that are giving energy? Are we working with the people that are giving energy? That's sustainable in the long run. And trust. Trust, it's so hard, but if you work in a culture of trust where colleagues trust you, it's the positive air you breathe. It's not polluted air you breathe. And if you can have that, it's amazing to go in the positive, nice air every day, fresh air versus polluted air. So energy and trust, I think, makes it in the long run.
All right. Well, this gave me energy, gentlemen. Thank you so much for being
Thank you.
here.
Same for me. Thank you.
Erwin and Bruce. And if there's one thing we can take away from the Peloton into the workplace, it's this. The strongest people aren't just strong, they're adaptable. Corporate athletes in the best sense of the word. When the unexpected hits, you don't rise to the occasion, you fall back on your habits. And that's why the small routines matter, especially on the messy days. Or like Erwin said, the habit of having habits. And maybe recovery could be your new habit. Deconnecting in business or having fun as a top athlete is as important as the performance itself. Thank you so much for listening and watching. Discover the full episodes of People and Peloton about cycling and business at sdworx.com or on your favorite podcast platform. Until next time, bye-bye. SD Worx.